one of the things that goes on here is that people have more ability to change. They have more willpower than they think they have.
That's exactly. In the last decade, our understanding of the science of habits has been completely transformed by neurological studies. And what we understand now is that every habit has these three components: a cue, a routine, and a reward. And that if you diagnose these cues and these rewards, you can begin changing automatic behaviors in ways that we never really thought were possible previously.
So give me an example of what one would think of as a bad habit that you could change.
So smoking is a great example, right? In the last decade, smoking rates have just plummeted in the United States. And part of the reason why is because we now understand why people smoke, that there's these cues, such as a time of day that triggers the behavior, but that more importantly, it's delivering a reward, that nicotine actually gives you this energy. And so now interventions go in, and what they say, don't just try and quit smoking, replace it with coffee, with exercise, with something that gives you that same reward. And we've seen an incredible decrease in the number of people smoking and their ability to quit.
And when you look at a company like Starbucks, it also tries to produce certain kinds of habits when dealing with, for example, disgruntled customers.
That's exactly right. One of the interesting things about Starbucks is that they have to sell customer service alongside that $4 latte. But they're dealing with a workforce that's often 17 years old, high school graduates. So they have to teach them these life skills. And what they do is they design specific habits to use in corporate settings. When an angry customer comes up, that's a cue for what they call the latte method, which is you listen and you thank them and you give them a free cup of coffee. And then the reward is that basically you solve this problem. They take decision-making out of the equation. They make the response automatic. And customer service productivity go up enormously.
Target tried to measure some of these issues. How did it do it?
Well, Target has this really interesting project, as does most of corporate America, of intensely studying shoppers' habits. And Target actually used this to try and predict which women were pregnant by studying how their shopping habits changed. They got so good that they can essentially assign every woman who comes regularly through their doors a pregnancy prediction score and even estimate their due date within 2 weeks.
Why is that important to shopping?
Well, what Target knows is that when you go through a major life event, your habits change, even if you're not aware of it. If you get married, the type of coffee you buy changes. If you get a divorce, the type of beer you buy changes. When you have a child, all of your shopping habits are up for grabs, even if you're not completely aware of it. Target knows if they can get the right coupon in your hand at the right time, you'll start buying from them.
I suppose the fundamental question is, can you change habits?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the biggest insight that we have. And it's not just personal habits, it's also habits within companies, organizational habits, habits across societies. What we've learned in the last decade, particularly from neurological studies, is any habit can be changed. It doesn't matter how ingrained the behavior is, it doesn't matter how old the person is. If you can identify the cue and the reward and understand what's driving the behavior from a neurological perspective, the craving, then you can change that behavior. But you have to be deliberate about it. CEOs have to actually think about their organizational habits. They can't just kind of try and do it on the fly. And good CEOs, Jack Welch, Lou Gertzner, that when you talk to them, they talk about organizational habits and how important it is to get them right.